I left Nigeria last year, August 1st. I left Nigeria because I was a single mother of 2. My mother was the one taking care of me. I'm the only child of my mom. So when my child was 4 months, I lost my mom. So I have to take care of my child alone. I met a woman at Oba Market. So the woman has to introduce me to this man. He said he's a trafficker. We do call them buggers. So that's how he buggered me too.
Nigeria has a population of 170, 180 million, depending on who you ask. Only about 4.1 million of those people live here in Edo State. And the unfortunate reality is that over 95% of the women and girls who are trafficked from Nigeria are trafficked from Edo State. Human trafficking, sex trafficking in particular, has become so embedded in our culture. It is almost, it's practically acceptable in many ways. And most of them are forced to have sex with anywhere between 4,000 to 6,000 men over a 2 to 3 year period, earning only about $5 to $10 per transaction in order to repay a debt back to the madame who trafficked her from Nigeria of anywhere between $35,000 and $50,000. Pathfinders was actually a nickname that my father gave me when I was 9. He would call me his Pathfinder because he would say that no matter where he was in the world, I would always track him down. And so when I started thinking and praying about a name for the organization, that just came to mind because it's not just who I am, it's who my father called me prophetically, but it's also what we're trying to do for these women and girls is to help them find their path out of injustice, out of torture, out of exploitation. So what we're doing is really focusing not just on rehabilitation for survivors of sex trafficking, helping them to rebuild their lives and put together broken dreams, but also focused on helping women who are pre-trafficking, who are potentially subject to being trafficked, and putting them in a position where they have a choice, where they have agency, where they can self-determine. Not just start to dream. The things that you had in your mind before that you wanted to do, all the possibilities, start to dream again. Allow yourself to get into that space of possibilities, okay? Because what has happened to you in the past is in the past, you know, but you are in a position to be able to control the future that God has given you a second opportunity with. My fundamental belief is that every woman is entitled to live a life of dignity, to live a life that is graced with self-determination and a life where she's not robbed of agency or subject to sexual exploitation. And so that's really the impetus for why I do what I do. Every single woman should be able to get up and live a life that she chooses. I think it's the love of our country, right, that compels us to speak and to amplify the voices of others. And so every single person is in a position to do that. Someone like me who does have a lot of privilege believes that with great privilege comes great responsibility, right? Particularly in Nigeria, there's this sort of belief that, you know, this is Nigeria, everybody be criminal, right? But that's a lie. You know, and that's one of the things I want people to realize, that is something that they can actually change. It may not be in the same way that somebody else who has access to whether it's money or whether it's influence might do, but everybody has a power to change.
Ruth Evon Benson-Idahosa will be speaking at the platform.
Date 1st of October 2018. Time 9 a.m. Venue The Covenant Place, Iganmu, right next to the National Theatre. Admission is free. To register, visit www.insightsforliving.org/the platform. The platform is powered by Covenant Christian Center.